Hello, Mount Rudmore here, and I am back talking about BB24. Um, we we've had some goings on the last few days. Not a lot of it has been particularly easy to to deal with. It's just there's a lot of people doing a lot, and not a lot of it is really what we want to see per se. Morning, Scarlet Rain, 88, and thank you for the compliments on my shirt. I am a big fan of it. Honestly, can you really hate anything that's got Nigel Thornberry on it? I mean, come on. But yes, we got a couple days worth of stuff to get to. Uh, my last stream was Saturday night into Sunday morning, and Michael had won the veto, his sixth veto of the season, first person in Big Brother history to win six vetoes in a single season, which is insane. It was also his ninth win of the season, six vetoes, three HOHs, and he is tied with Janelle for that record. So, you know, Michael's not really too concerned about the remainder of this week. Question is, how does he position himself going forward? Because all these wins have not gone unnoticed. So, a lot of what Michael talks about since my last stream is just, you know, it's nothing to do with this week. He's looking to the future. So the first thing I have written in my notes is that Michael wants to mention Terrence's willingness to be a bitter juror in his veto speech. And the jury doesn't get to see a lot, but they do get to see the veto meetings. And Michael realized this was the only way he could get a message to them to just drop that, yeah, Terrence is going to be a better juror, and that's going to take some of the wind out of his sails. And I mean, Michael's super fan brain is elite because I would have never thought of that. I mean, Michael had a BB Bible at home that he wrote that was like 40 pages long, I think. So, yeah, this this man is playing 100-dimensional chess. So, Brittany is going to pitch to Michael that they should take out Monty or Turner. And, like, in some ways, this is not a bad thought because they are they're pretty strong threats in different ways. Turner is more of a threat in competitions, and Monty is more of a social threat, even if he only has one win this season. And um, one of my uh, one of my favorite streamers I like to watch is Nerdtainment, and one of my favorite BD podcasters. And they were saying, like, they even admitted that early on they thought Monty was throwing competitions, and it did seem like he might have thrown one or two. This These last few though, he's just been losing, so it doesn't seem like he's been throwing. It seems like he's been losing. So yeah, I forgot to plug my laptop in. One second. There we go. So they talk about this, and they're not really sure how Taylor would take it. Whether she would come closer to them and be more loyal to them, or if she'd be mad. I think maybe Monty she'd be a little more mad. Turner, I don't think she really cares too much because Turner really made her feel like crap last week when he was HOH. Because I mean, Taylor was who he wanted out if he couldn't get Michael. So yeah, I don't think Taylor would be heartbroken to see Turner go. But again, Michael made the deal with him. You took out Kyle, even though that wasn't really the best move for your game. So I'm gonna offer you safety this week, which is noble of Michael. But this is Big Brother. We're at the final seven, and you have 9 wins already, and there's still about 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go. So you can't really afford to be nice for too much longer. I mean, it would be a good move as far as taking out a threat, but it wouldn't be good jury management, especially with Turner, to just be like, you did this last week to save us, and now we're going to betray you. Like, that does not look good to a jury. And then, of course, there's the optics of making this stand against Kyle's racism, and then the next week taking out Monty. Like, it looks a little fishy. I mean, granted, Terrence is Michael's target now. So I don't know. Maybe in that regard, he just kind of breaks even. I mean, it does seem like Michael is at least trying to work with Monty going forward, although he is aware that Monty would probably take him out first chance he gets. If I was in that house, I'd attempt to take out the comp behemoth first chance I got. Thank you for saying the name of one of my videos. I think it was my last one, of the comp behemoth. Yeah, it had to be the last one because my last stream was where Michael scored his ninth win and sixth veto win. So yeah, as far as taking out Turner and Monty, it is risky for jury management. Terrence also kind of risky, just with what he's saying, but you know, Michael's already trying to get ahead of it as best he can, assuming that Terrence can even make a difference in the first place. And more than anything, I just want Terrence out. I just do. I hate him. I really, really hate him. Like, and also, okay, I was about to say, I know Terrence isn't a big threat, but he kind of is. He has 2 wins. Monty has 1 win. Okay, like let's talk about this just for a second. Um, After Michael, it is a tie for second most wins in the house between Terrence, Turner, and Brittany, if you can believe that. And also Kyle and Smelvis. 2 wins each for them as well. So Terrence isn't not a threat. Okay. His HOH upended the game and he got out. He was the first one to take out one of the leftovers. The man is a threat. And he's an unpleasant person to be around. Um, so Alyssa talks to Michael and Brittany about the three of them forming a final three alliance. And Alyssa's like, and Taylor can be fourth. And it's like, let her think that. It's fine. Just let her think that. She admits that she loves Turner on a personal level, but she's unsure if he's kind of getting closer to more to people he's worked with in the past. And of course, he's just like he's not really trying too hard to save Alyssa or Terrence, so he is basically back with the leftovers. But he's also kind of going back to the pound, of which Monty is the only one left. like Monty and Turner are definitely a duo in the house. So, so it's like, you know, I get it. I get why she's thinking Turner's probably gravitating more to certain people. She says that Monty hasn't talked a game with her since the house split. And, it's also kind of like, have you really tried that much? I don't know if you have. But I'm thinking, Alyssa, let's say Alyssa does survive this week. She will have reached the top six with no wins and not even really much of a social game. Like, Nicole in BB21, yes, she did not win her first competition until the final six, but she was playing a great social game. Alyssa doesn't even have that. So, what I think, I'm kind of surprised that Alyssa is still there. To be honest, she's not really done anything. Yeah. Well, here's what I was getting at though. Before I sidetracked myself back to BB21 for some reason, a season I'm still trying to block out. Alyssa does not have a resume to speak of at this point in time. If somehow she were to win HOH in the double eviction coming up on Thursday, she's got nothing to lose and everything to gain by just putting up Monty and Michael. Michael, the biggest threat in the house, one of the most wins. Monty, someone she can't really trust too much. You know, like, yeah, okay, one might win the veto, but then you just take out the other one. And then it's like, yeah, Alyssa, you actually now have a resume to speak of. So, yes, Alyssa, feel free to tell Michael what he wants to hear to ensure that he still wants Terrence to leave over you. That's all well and good. You're supposed to do that when you're a nominee. But if you win HOH next week, take the shot because, you know, you hit that shot, then you have slayed the dragon. And who knows, you might actually make it further in the game than you might have because people will respect the move. Of course, there is also the possibility that whoever takes out Michael becomes the next big threat. And I don't know about that per se. I feel like if Alyssa took out Michael, I don't think she goes right to being the biggest threat in the house just because it took her this long to win anything. But like Turner or Monty successfully taking out Michael, yeah, they're going to be the next target, but that was probably going to happen anyway. All right, so this is where things started to get a little chaotic. And it came from Miss Crazy Eyes herself, according to Zingbot. Brittany. She was going around the house, just making final twos with everybody. Just going all over the place. And the reason she's doing this, ostensibly, is because, she is trying to protect Michael. But she is aware that with his record, he'll probably be a big threat. And going into Thursday night, he cannot play for HOH, so there's no reason for him not to be the target. But what she's worried about is that if Michael wins the veto, that they might settle for her as a replacement. So she has been working to make sure that she is not the alternative, which is not bad strategically. It's just A, exhausting to watch because he was running around like a headless chicken. And B, if this plan is successful, then she is going to get the target off of her to Taylor, which nobody wants. pitch that she gives to these people when she makes the final two deals with them, like this was at least to Turner. She's like, I can't beat Michael, but with you, maybe. And Turner's just kind of like, yeah, okay. And let's be honest, Turner and Brittany final two. Turner wins near unanimously, I think. Like, I think Michael would be the only one to vote for Brittany at that point. Maybe Taylor. I don't know. But yeah, she's doing a lot, and it even gets to the point where Michael is thinking it's a bit much. And hold on, I want to go back to a conversation I had. Give me 1 second. I was talking Big Brother with someone earlier. All right. A friend of mine said Brittany to me isn't playing her own game. She's just piggybacking off of Michael's game. Probably an unpopular opinion, but that's what it looks like to me. Uh, Unpopular opinion? That is the near unanimous opinion. Like they've even kind of figured out the meaning behind her BB comic, which was Brit Flea. And of all people, it was Terrence who put it together. Fleas attach themselves to other things to survive. And Brittany has attached herself to Michael. So Terrence and Taylor were talking about this like they figured it out, and then over the loudspeakers they literally play a zing bot zing, and Taylor and Terrence are just freaking out about it. And like this was actually a rather good bonding moment between Taylor and Terrence. I mean, I don't think she's going to vote for him to stay, but I think she's securing his jury vote. She's going to get herself to the final three just from Michael's hard work. Brittany, yeah, it's possible, you know. But again, if someone decides to take the shot at Michael, they can't get him, then they have to settle for someone else. I think in that case, yeah, probably becomes Brittany. And later on, all the women they're talking, and the conversation kind of goes to the fact that maybe well, they think there's never been an all-female final three. They are wrong about that, but it has been a while for sure. And they're like, maybe we should make a final three. And Brittany rats out the alliance immediately. Like they were already kind of it was already kind of a suggestion that they may kind of go this way, and Brittany was already saying beforehand like there may be a final three going on between all the women, and it's like, come on, Brittany, why do we have to do this every time an all-female alliance forms in the Big Brother house? It immediately has to be ratted out by one of them. I mean, let's just go back to BB24. Franzel said that she said to Cody Cauliflower, like, I'm I'm gonna start an all girl alliance and just report everything back to you. Like she formed it with the express intention of ratting them all out. And I mean it worked for her. She was the last female standing that season. And she also like not only did she ensure that she would be the last woman standing, which she loves to be, but she also ensured that there would be zero entertainment that season. And there was not. Except for Davon winning the veto. That was pretty great. Other than that, mm-mm. So yeah, it's like female alliances in Big Brother are cursed. I mean, the girls alliance this season fell apart pretty quickly, but we weren't really too mad at that because it wasn't all the women. It was six of the women trying to come together to gang up on two of the women, Taylor and Nicole. But then, of course, Nicole started getting closer to them, and they started shoving Brittany out. So, and then of course the leftovers formed, and Amira was taken out, and yeah, that one I think an all-female alliance could work, but the girls alliance this season was built on a questionable foundation. I mean, is there even anything questionable? It didn't work. Alyssa is the only permanent member of the girls alliance, like in it from the beginning to the end, who is still in this game, and she's still here because it's like no one really sees a need to take her out. And this is where things get even more frustrating. Turner pitches to Michael a final three with the two of them and Monty, basically to counteract this all female alliance that is brewing. Because, of course, that's what happens even when they're wrong about there being a female alliance. They assume there is, and they just have to be taken out. Like even last year, the three men of the cookout, Xavier, Kyle, and Derek F. They were all pretty tightly knit, and I was with the way that double eviction went. Well, the second double eviction when Tiffany and Hannah went out, and Ozza was the only woman left. I was just like, yeah, it's going to be an all male final three. Just luckily, Xavier decided to actually play the game and took out Kylan's. Well, Derek F took him out, but it was Xavier's plan, and Derek F didn't really play his own game at any given point. If Xavier had said take out Ozza, Derek F would have done it. Of course he would have. Man had no game sense of his own. So yeah, that's why Turner's pitching this to Michael, two of them plus Monty as a final three. And Turner even says that Brittany told him about the women wanting to go for Michael and Brittany offering a final two with him. And it's like, I was thinking this seems like total nonsense. But later on, it turned out to actually be kind of genuine. We'll get to that, but first I have a note of Brittany and Michael when they were talking. Um, they're talking. I think it was in the HOH room. I read about this conversation. I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure it was in the HOH room. They were talking. Taylor comes in and Brittany's like, "Could you give us like 5 minutes?" And Michael's like, "No, she can be here for this. It's fine." So then Brittany goes to get her back, and Michael is just—you can see it in his face. He thinks Brittany's doing too much, and he's getting pretty exasperated. Like, I wasn't thinking, oh, is he about to put her on the block right now? I didn't think that for a second. But he was definitely getting annoyed. So then Turner goes and talks to Monty about the final three he pitched. Turner, Monty, Michael. And Turner says that Michael is like a little unsure about Brittany now, and this all-female alliance that's going on. It'd be good for us two to get in with Michael, so that way instead of us having to take him out, we can use him, and then like the three of us can just run the game. We can just trade the HOH key back and forth. That's that's what Turner seems to think, not realizing that Michael has a better relationship with Brittany and Taylor than with you two, and he knows you two are coming for him. And Monty says he's in. And because of this, Taylor should be the next target because we have to just make Taylor the target at least once a week. We have to at least talk about it. But yeah, they are so freaked out about an all female alliance that they want to work with Michael. The the three remaining women combined have 1/3 the amount of wins that Michael does. And you're afraid of the women? Make it make sense. Just, I don't understand why every time there's even a whisper of an all female alliance, all the guys are like, oh, well, we have to get them all out. We have to do it. We have no choice in the matter. Our hands are tied. Like, this is not how I would play the game if I was in the Big Brother house. If I was in there and I'm hearing these guys talking to me like, you know, maybe we should just get all the women out and we can all go to the end together. Like, what I'm hearing is you don't want a woman to win. So if I take you out or allow you to be taken out, and I go to the final two, and I'm sitting next to a woman, you're gonna vote for me to win over her? Okay. If that's how you want to play it, fine. It's just like, I don't know. This mentality doesn't make sense, and yet it comes up every year, even from otherwise intelligent players. Like, I think Monty's an intelligent player. When I came up with Xavier last year, yeah, I thought he was an intelligent player too. It's just I don't understand it. But what I do understand is, like I said, if I if my wildest dreams come true, I get on Big Brother, and I think I have a pretty good case to make. I'm a comedian. I don't think there's ever been one on. If there was, he or she didn't make a difference. But yeah, if I got on, seeing this kind of all the women are working together, we have to get them out mentality, that would make me want to work with the women to get the men out so that I can sit in the finals next to a woman and win. We always, whenever there's an all female alliance, one of the women has to rat it out to the men. And I'm just like, if I'm part of an all guys alliance, I'm ratting it out to the women. Go F yourselves. Let's change the game a little. Kind of went off on a tear there, but I'm kind of proud of myself. Scarlett, I'm just now seeing your comment. I'd focus more on getting Michael out over any of the women at the moment. Yeah, that was the point of my whole uh, soliloquy there. Anyway, we get to Monday, veto meeting. Unsurprisingly, Michael doesn't use it. He said he wasn't going to, so there was no real surprise here. Should he have maybe put up Monty or Turner? Perhaps. But Terrence is his threat, and I think Terrence is a valid target. He's openly coming for Michael. Alyssa's worthless, so there's no point getting her out. And Terrence has more wins than Monty, and as many wins as Turner. And he made that deal with Turner, so he's honoring that, not putting him up. So, yeah, I get it. Uh, Monty and Turner, they are putting in more work about this final three with Michael. And Michael admits he's a little uncertain about Brittany right now. And Monty says that, I've never heard Brittany talk about targeting you, Michael. Taylor, on the other hand, now this really irked me. Taylor has said that the thought of taking out Michael would be good for her resume, but she is not overly sure if she's ready to do it at this time. Monty was the one trying to steer her towards doing it immediately. Like, if she's the next HOH, do it. But now Monty is flipping this and saying, well, yeah, Taylor wanted to target you. Like, no, you did, and steered her in that direction. Like, that is some serious rat snake behavior. Like, you're a rat and a snake. Good for you. You're a rake. A rat, a snake. You're a rake. Or a snat. A rake or a snat. I don't know. Either way, this is just like, you know, it's just really irritating how hard Monty's trying to get Taylor out. Like, dude, you. Well, let's say Monty wins the HOH on Thursday. Is he really gonna take out Taylor if he can't get Michael? Because that would be stupid. Michael will be like, "Oh well, I got safety for the double eviction," and then he will probably win the final five HOH, and then be like, "So yeah, Turner, Monty, this final three deal, it's BS. Have fun on the block." He'd take out Michael first, I think. I hope so. Like, none of them know for sure that it's a double eviction. I mean, they're always talking about it like, is this it? Is this going to be the week? Like, they're always ready. So I think, when they realize it's a double eviction, I think it will shift a lot of their thinking significantly. So Terrence is talking to Monty, and he tells Monty, "You and HOH, you have to put up Michael and Turner because they're the pieces of everyone's puzzle." And you know what they say about broken clocks? They're right twice a day. Terrence was right about what Brit Flea meant for the BB comics, and he's right that Michael and Turner are the big pieces in this game. So, yeah. Yeah, Terrence, you got this one right. It's just too bad that when you're not right, you're super sexist. So then he and Monty are talking, and Monty says, "You see how these women are in this game." I read that and was like, whatever is coming after this, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all. And, he goes on to say that, like, they've been really gung ho about being together, all the women. Will there only be one veto to play for, or two during the double eviction? Well, the double eviction is just like it's a week of Big Brother gameplay squeezed into an hour, or in this case, 2 hours. Although I imagine the first hour is probably going to be uh, uh, footage of the game. I feel like probably about an hour in, we'll have the first eviction. Then they will do HOH competition, nominations, veto competition, veto meeting, second eviction. That's how it works. But yeah, just hearing Monty say that, you see how these women are in this game. I mean, Monty, just last week, you were hurt when you realized Kyle was saying non game related things. like about how all the people of color were working together, how he used certain information you gave him against you. So you went through all of that. Like I saw the hurt in Monty's face. He was devastated that Kyle did this. He really thought of Kyle as a friend. So just Monty, for you to have felt that and now you are so prejudiced against the women in this game, like this isn't better. Okay? I mean, I'm not even going to get into the debate of racism versus sexism, which is worse. They're both bad. They're both unnecessary, and they both should have no weight in this game as far as decisions. The decisions should be who is the biggest threat to win this game. And that right now is Michael, not the women. Okay? Sure. Michael gets taken out. The threat level of one of the women winning goes up. And then, I'm not saying he's not allowed to target women. I'm saying this mentality is not right. And I don't understand how we can go from talking about all these, just having all these serious discussions with Kyle last week and then turning around and saying these things about the women in the house. I just don't understand it. It's really annoying, honestly. So, Taylor, Taylor's been talking to Brittany a lot through all of this, and you can see it in Taylor's eyes. She's finding Brittany a little bit messy, but overall, it does kind of still seem like she does want to move forward with Brittany. So then Taylor has a very interesting cam talk. She says that she wants to go to the end with Brittany and Terrence. She specifically says Alyssa, Michael, Turner, Monty leave in that order. Alyssa, like vote out Alyssa this week, get out Michael next, then Turner, and then Monty. And that final three, Taylor, Brittany, Terrence, I think Taylor wins handily over either of them. And better than that, if Brittany or Terrence were to win the final HOH, they would take Taylor to the end over the other one. Because Brittany's close with Taylor and Terrence is mad at Brittany for withholding the information about Kyle. So, yes, this final three would be near perfection for Taylor's game. As far as the people watching and their level of patience, that would be different because no one wants to see Brittany. Well, they definitely don't. No one wants to see Terrence in the final three. I think some people are like okay with Brittany being there because like she basically loses to just about anybody except maybe Alyssa and maybe Terrence. I don't know. A Brittany and Terrence final two. I think that would be a 5-4 vote, and I'm not sure in which direction it would be. Please don't let me see that sexist jerk in the final three. Yeah. All I'm saying is that final three would be good for her, but bad for the audience. But then from here, we get a talk between the four votes this week, which is Taylor, Brittany, Monty, Turner. Monty does say that Alyssa has kind of run amok in the game the most, but ultimately says doesn't really care either way. Brittany says she sees pros and cons to both. Monty points out that Terrence has come closer to winning, more times than Alyssa has, and then there's the fact that Terrence has won twice. Because, we'll just, for argument's sake, we're just gonna say, yeah, okay, Terrence won HOH when the house split, even though he was second place, and he wouldn't have won if it was a typical HOH. And they all say that we'll nominate Alyssa next, like next week, and I'm just like, I don't believe any of you. Even if it wasn't about to be a double eviction, I don't believe any of you. But ultimately, they all come back around and they're like, mm, we'll just get out Terrence. They're all just like, yeah, sure, okay, let's do it. So, you know, they talked it through, and of course, when they were talking about should we take out Alyssa, of course, BB Twitter lost their minds, but then they came back around like they always do. It's just like, come on, people, don't freak out until the conversation ends. So, what I'm thinking going into this double, as far as who's safe and who's in trouble, uh, I mean it's looking like Terrence is gonna go. Alyssa's gonna stay. Alyssa's the one person left who is not part of the leftovers, and yet I think she is the most safe in that house. I don't see anyone taking her out. Like even if she sees the block on double eviction night, I I don't see anyone not taking a shot at whoever's sitting next to her. So, and if Terrence does end up staying, I think then that goes for him too. He might end up on the block, but I don't think he'd be taken out. I am very, very, very worried about Taylor right now. You know, Taylor's karma has been a thing all season, and it has been working hard. But I, I don't know. This is, I really think this is it. If she doesn't win HOH or veto, because I think realistically, I think the two most likely to win the next HOH are Turner and Monty. Here's hoping she does win one of those. Yeah, Turner, I think he will definitely go for Taylor. Monty, I think, might decide to. He might kick around the idea of taking a shot at Michael. I feel like maybe Monty would not put Michael up initially, but if Michael doesn't win the veto, then I think Monty would take that shot. Otherwise, he might he might go for Taylor. He might go for Brittany also. I feel like there's a little bit better of a chance of Taylor survival with Monty as HOH than Turner, but still, I don't want to rule anything out. It's just like I think Taylor is the most likely one to leave in the second part of the double eviction. I think it would be very stupid for Monty and Turner not to go for Michael if he is vulnerable. Like they don't want to put him up initially, fine. But if he doesn't win that veto, they really got to think about it. And like I think it would be stupid for them to not get out Michael if they can. But if they can't, I think Brittany should be the next one to go because that's Michael's number one. And they're a very obvious duo. If you can't get Michael, you can at least take away his right hand. And another thing about Taylor leaving in the double that I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about. Um, Terrence is probably going first, and he gets the jury. He's gonna try his best to poison it against Michael. But if Taylor gets to the jury right behind him, then you know she'll probably have more sway with them talking about what happened, and because Taylor is not as upset with Michael and Brittany over their timing of the information as Terrence and Monty are. So, you know, Taylor being in the jury is really good for Michael's game. Can you imagine if Michael and Brittany went out in the double eviction? Well, that's not going to happen because Terrence or Alyssa is going to be the first one, and then Michael and Brittany, Michael or Brittany could be the second, but they they literally cannot both leave because the first part of the double eviction is the eviction of this current HOH reign. And also, I did a randomizer. I did this um, going into the when the house reunited after Direfest and Big Brochella. I put all the eligible names in a randomizer and was like, who's it going to pick as being the next HOH? And it picked Taylor, and it was wrong. It ended up being Turner. I decided to do that again for this, and it picked Alyssa. I did a randomizer that picked Alyssa as the next HOH. And honestly, I would prefer that over either of the guys at least. Brittany, as chaotic as she's been, I don't think she's going for Taylor, and really at this point, that's all I care about. I said this on Twitter earlier. I do not care, really, what happens in the double eviction if it results in Taylor staying. Because there's valid reasons for everybody else to leave. Getting Michael out, he's a huge threat, and that's just a smart move. Getting Brittany out, if they can't get Michael, smart move because she's a number one, and he now has to play without her, which he'll be able to do. But you would at least get a little bit of a hit on him. Taking out Alyssa, who cares? She's useless. Doesn't matter. Taking out Monty or Turner, they're really becoming a couple of buttholes. So I won't shed a tear for them. I think if Alyssa were to win, if this randomizer's right, and Alyssa does win HOH, I I don't know. I feel like she is going to at least try to stick with this all female final three and not put up Brittany or Taylor. But if Michael's vulnerable, I could see her being persuaded by Monty and Turner, maybe even Taylor, to take the shot at Michael. So yeah, that's where we're at in regards to that. Obviously, Taylor is who I want to win HOH the most because I just want her to be safe. Or veto, of course. Okay, that's all my notes. Let's uh let's check the interwebs, see if anything's gone down. All right, timeline's pretty slow. Let's check BB updates. Hold on 1 second. Just got a couple of notifications. All right. Yeah, BB Updates has not updated in 5 hours. Okay, so that is where we're at. Uh, Double Eviction is looming, and I'm worried. I'm worried for our girl. I'm really worried. But her leaving would definitely, I think, undermine Terrence trying to poison the jury because I think she will defend Michael and Brittany. And honestly, if they have Michael as an option and they don't take him out, then I want him to win out from here because not taking that shot when you have it is stupid. But yes, Michael is going to have to win out from here. 100%. He slips up in one competition. There's a lot of talk about how when they do double eviction episodes, because it's live, they only have an hour or 2 hours. The comps are a lot faster, and sometimes they can be a little more luck based. Uh, that veto is more luck based, and Michael doesn't get lucky. Then that could be it for him. A lot of people have been pointing out that the question is, will Michael break the all-time single-season win record on Thursday night by winning the veto in the double eviction, therefore being the first person to have 10 wins in a single season? Or will he lose that veto and be evicted? So that was the intrigue at first, but now, like, if Monty and Turner are serious about this final three and they decide not to take him out, I mean, that's just stupid on their part, but yeah, that's yeah, I don't think this double eviction veto is as do or die for Michael as I thought it would be. I think there's still a pretty good chance if he doesn't win that veto, he could be in trouble. But yeah, I feel like honestly, the one who I think at this point has the best chance of going for Michael outright might actually be Taylor because she has kind of said it'd be a good resume booster. And listen, I will not fault anyone for trying to take out Michael at this point. But if Monty or Turner does it, I won't enjoy it as much. Taylor doing it, that would be incredible. And Alyssa doing it would just be brain breaking. But yeah, that is where we are at. I'm gonna call it a night. It's almost 1 a.m. here. Thank you, Scarlet Rain 88, for watching. I appreciate it. I will be back. I was about to say tomorrow, but I mean later today when the sun's out, streaming either Uncharted 4 or Red Dead Redemption 2. Haven't decided yet. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for being here, Scarlet. I said that already, but yeah, thank you again. So yes, that is going to do it for me. Uh, I think I'll probably game stream the next 2 days because I feel like they'll be kind of slow feeds wise the next 2 days. I'll try to do one on Thursday, but yeah, that's gonna do it for this stream, and I will see you next time. Peace out.